Imagine a world where the vast, silent landscapes of rural America, often perceived as untouched by the rapid currents of technological advancement, suddenly become the stage for an extraordinary encounter. What if the very definition of connection, of empathy, was dramatically redefined not by grand policy, but by a single unexpected gesture? We often talk about the digital divide, the chasm between hyper-connected urban centers and remote, isolated communities. We ponder the psychological toll of solitude, the quiet struggles endured far from the bustling crowds, struggles that often remain invisible to the world beyond their immediate horizon. But what happens when the seemingly impossible bridges that gap, not through a planned initiative, but through an act of profound personal recognition? What if a figure synonymous with the future, with space travel and electric revolutions, reaches across that divide, not with a business proposition, but with an act of profound personal recognition, offering something far more valuable than a mere transaction? This scenario, almost cinematic in its unexpectedness, forces us to confront several deeply ingrained assumptions about modern life. Is true connection only found within established social circles, or can it emerge from the most unlikely of interactions? Does the relentless march of technological progress inherently alienate those in remote areas, or can it, paradoxically, become a conduit for unexpected compassion? The image of a humble rancher, accustomed to a life of arduous solitude, suddenly standing face to face with an icon of global innovation, receiving a gift that transcends its material value, challenges our preconceived notions of who benefits from progress and how empathy manifests in an increasingly interconnected, yet often fragmented world. It prompts us to consider the very nature of human needs, beyond sustenance and shelter. What truly sustains the spirit in isolation? And how do we measure the impact of an act that, on the surface, might seem like a simple exchange, but carries the weight of years of unspoken hardship and longing? The quiet resilience of individuals, like Charlie, living out their days far from the spotlight, often goes unnoticed. Their dedication, their perseverance against the elements, their commitment to a way of life that demands immense physical and mental fortitude, rarely makes headlines. Yet, their experiences are a crucial thread in the tapestry of human existence, highlighting the universal challenges of isolation and the profound human desire for recognition and belonging. When such a life intersects with the apex of global technological and economic power, it creates a powerful narrative arc that resonates far beyond the immediate participants. It compels us to ask, what is the true currency of human kindness? In an age dominated by economic metrics and digital interactions, can a single act of generosity bridge not just geographical distances, but also the vast socio-economic disparities that define our modern landscape? This isn't just a story about a car, or even about a famous billionaire's philanthropy. It's an invitation to explore the deeper currents that flow beneath the surface of our highly structured societies. It's about the often overlooked human element in the grand narrative of progress. It challenges us to look beyond the obvious, to understand the unseen struggles, and to appreciate the transformative power of connection in its most unexpected forms. How do such moments redefine our understanding of empathy, of community, and of the very purpose of innovation? What does it reveal about the human spirit's capacity for both enduring hardship and extending profound compassion? And how might such a gesture spark a wider conversation about the responsibility of those with immense power to touch lives in meaningful, personal ways far beyond the scope of their usual ventures? This narrative serves as a potent lens through which we can examine the often unseen dynamics of human connection, the subtle yet profound impact of recognition, and the potential for technology to serve as a bridge, rather than a barrier, in fostering genuine human understanding and alleviating the silent burdens of isolation. It forces us to reconsider the true value of an act of kindness when it reaches across seemingly insurmountable divides. The story of the rancher and the tech mogul, while seemingly a modern fable, echoes a long-standing human narrative. The relationship between the individual and the broader societal structures, particularly in the context of isolation and connectivity. Historically, rural life in America was often characterized by a paradox of self-sufficiency and communal interdependence. Early homesteaders and agricultural communities, while geographically dispersed, often relied heavily on localized social networks for survival, mutual aid, and shared labor. Barn raisings, harvest festivals, and cooperative efforts were cornerstones of rural existence, fostering a sense of belonging and mitigating the inherent challenges of remote living. However, as the 20th century progressed, several factors began to erode these traditional communal bonds. The mechanization of agriculture reduced the need for shared labor, while improved transportation allowed for greater access to distant markets and services, diminishing the reliance on local economies. The allure of urban centers, with their promise of diverse opportunities and amenities, led to a steady exodus from rural areas, leaving behind aging populations and increasingly isolated individuals. This demographic shift, coupled with the decline of local institutions like small schools and general stores, further exacerbated the sense of solitude for many. The very notion of the rugged, independent rancher, while embodying a certain American ideal, often belies a profound and often unacknowledged struggle with loneliness and a feeling of being left behind by the accelerating pace of the modern world. This historical trajectory sets the stage for understanding the depth of isolation experienced by someone like Charlie, whose life is a testament to an enduring, yet increasingly solitary, way of life. Into this landscape of quiet endurance steps the concept of modern philanthropy, which itself has undergone a significant evolution. From the ancient acts of charity by religious institutions to the grand endowments of 19th century industrialists like Carnegie and Rockefeller, giving has always been intertwined with societal development and the alleviation of suffering. However, contemporary philanthropy, particularly by tech billionaires, often takes on a different character. It's less about broad, institutional giving and more about targeted, sometimes highly personalized, interventions. This shift can be attributed to a desire for direct impact, a more entrepreneurial approach to problem solving, and perhaps a recognition that systemic issues often have deeply personal manifestations. The arrival of a Tesla, a symbol of cutting-edge innovation and sustainable future, on a remote ranch represents a confluence of these historical and contemporary forces. The enduring isolation of rural America meeting the evolving face of global generosity and technological advancement. It highlights how progress, often associated with urban hubs, can, in unexpected ways, reach into the most remote corners, challenging the very definition of what it means to be connected in the 21st century. The profound impact of such an unexpected act of kindness can be understood through the lens of social psychology and the mechanics of human connection. Acts of altruism, defined as selfless concern for the well-being of others, are not merely random occurrences, but are deeply rooted in our evolutionary and psychological makeup. Theories like the empathy-altruism hypothesis suggest that true altruism is motivated by empathic concern for someone in need, leading to a desire to alleviate their suffering. When Charlie, the rancher, received the Tesla, it wasn't just a material gift, it was a powerful validation of his unseen struggles, a recognition of his inherent worth, and a bridge across a vast social chasm. This recognition, often overlooked in the daily grind of isolated lives, can trigger what psychologists call the helper's high, not only in the giver, but also in the recipient, fostering feelings of gratitude, joy, and renewed hope. Such moments highlight the reciprocal nature of human connection, An act of giving creates a bond, a sense of shared humanity that transcends socioeconomic status or geographical distance. Furthermore, the arrival of a Tesla Model Y in such a remote setting brings into sharp focus the ongoing challenges and evolving solutions related to the digital and technological divide. While broadband internet access remains a significant hurdle for many rural communities, hindering educational opportunities, economic development, and access to essential services, the very concept of an electric vehicle introduces a different facet of technological integration. For a rancher, an EV might initially seem impractical due to perceived range anxiety or lack of charging infrastructure. However, the reality of many rural driving patterns, often consisting of predictable, shorter trips around the property or to nearby towns, can make EVs surprisingly viable. The Model Y, with its substantial range and the potential for home charging via solar panels or existing electrical hookups, offers a glimpse into a future where sustainable technology can empower remote living by reducing reliance on volatile fuel prices and complex maintenance needs. It transforms a symbol of urban innovation into a tool for rural resilience, challenging the misconception that advanced technology is exclusively for city dwellers. This intersection of psychological well-being and practical technological solutions underscores the multifaceted nature of human progress and its capacity to uplift individuals in unexpected ways. Beyond the immediate emotional resonance, the broader implications of such an act reverberate through societal structures, challenging our perceptions of wealth, progress, and community. When a high-profile figure like Elon Musk extends personal kindness to an individual in a remote setting, it transcends mere philanthropy. It becomes a powerful public statement. This gesture can help to humanize figures often seen through the lens of vast wealth and corporate ambition, reminding us that even those at the pinnacle of global influence are capable of profound empathy. More significantly, it shines a spotlight on the often invisible struggles of rural populations, forcing a wider public conversation about isolation, access to modern conveniences, and the inherent dignity of all forms of labor. Such an act can inspire a ripple effect, encouraging others, both individuals and organizations, to look beyond conventional targets for charity and consider more personalized, impactful interventions. It fosters a sense of collective responsibility, suggesting that societal well-being is not solely the domain of government policy or large-scale development projects, but also emerges from individual acts of recognition and support. Furthermore, the integration of advanced technology like an electric vehicle into a traditional rural setting carries significant implications for sustainable development. It demonstrates that the future of energy and transportation is not exclusive to urban centers, but can provide tangible benefits such as reduced operating costs, lower emissions, and potential energy independence through renewable charging to even the most remote areas. This can accelerate the adoption of green technologies in sectors previously considered resistant to change, fostering a more equitable distribution of technological progress. The narrative of the rancher and the Tesla becomes a microcosm for larger societal shifts, a move towards more personalized forms of philanthropy, a heightened awareness of rural challenges, and an evolving understanding of how technology can serve as a bridge to a more connected and sustainable future for everyone, not just those in metropolitan hubs. Despite the heartwarming narrative and its powerful implications, the integration of advanced technology and acts of high-profile kindness into remote rural settings is not without its complexities, challenges, and persistent myths. One common misconception is that rural communities are inherently resistant to new technologies. While adoption rates may differ from urban areas due to infrastructure limitations or economic constraints, there is often a strong practical interest in innovations that can genuinely improve efficiency, reduce costs, or enhance quality of life. The challenge lies not in a lack of desire, but in the significant hurdles to access, affordability, and the necessary supporting infrastructure. For instance, while an electric vehicle like the Model Y offers numerous benefits, the reality of charging infrastructure in vast, sparsely populated areas remains a significant barrier for widespread adoption. Public charging stations are scarce, and while home charging is possible, the energy grid in some remote areas might be less reliable or capable of handling consistent high-power charging, though solar integration offers a promising alternative. Moreover, the maintenance and repair of highly specialized electric vehicles present a unique challenge in areas where traditional mechanics are prevalent, but EV-trained technicians are virtually non-existent, leading to potential downtime and costly transport for repairs. These practical considerations highlight that while a singular gift can be transformative, systemic change requires broader investment in infrastructure and training. Another area of debate often surrounds the motivations and efficacy of high-profile philanthropic gestures. While undeniably impactful on an individual level, some critics question whether such acts are truly altruistic or if they serve, in part, as public relations exercises, diverting attention from larger systemic issues. The savior complex narrative can sometimes overshadow the deeper need for sustained, community-led development initiatives that address root causes of isolation and economic hardship, rather than providing one-off solutions. While a new vehicle can vastly improve a rancher's mobility and operational efficiency, it doesn't solve the broader issues of declining rural economies, limited healthcare access, or the persistent digital divide that affects entire communities. The story of Charlie and Elon is powerful precisely because it transcends the transactional, focusing on recognition and connection. Yet, it also implicitly raises questions about the scale of intervention needed to truly uplift rural America. There's a fine line between inspiring generosity and fostering a dependency on individual acts of kindness, rather than advocating for robust public policies and sustainable economic development models that empower communities from within. Navigating these complexities requires a nuanced understanding of both the immense power of individual compassion and the persistent need for systemic solutions to address deep-seated societal challenges. The heartwarming encounter between a solitary rancher and a visionary tech titan, culminating in an unexpected gift, serves as a powerful testament to the enduring human need for connection and recognition. It transcends the material exchange, becoming a profound illustration of how empathy can bridge seemingly insurmountable divides: geographical, economic, and social. This narrative compels us to look beyond the surface of our increasingly complex world, to acknowledge the often unseen struggles of individuals living on the fringes of modern advancement, and to recognize the transformative power of a single act of kindness. It reminds us that while technological progress continues its relentless march, its true value often lies in its capacity to serve human needs, to alleviate burdens, and to foster a deeper sense of belonging. The Tesla Model Y, in this context, is not just a vehicle. It becomes a symbol of hope, a tangible representation of connection reaching across vast distances, and a tool for enhanced autonomy in a life previously defined by isolation. Ultimately, this story challenges us to reconsider our understanding of philanthropy, of community, and of the true meaning of progress. It prompts us to ask, in an age where information flows globally and wealth accumulates at unprecedented rates, how can we cultivate more widespread empathy and ensure that the benefits of innovation reach every corner of society, touching lives in meaningful, personal ways? The experience of Charlie, the rancher, is a vivid reminder that the human spirit, even in profound solitude, yearns for validation and connection. His tears were not just for the unexpected gift, but for the profound recognition of his worth, a bond forged across worlds. This incident underscores that the most impactful gestures are often those that see beyond superficial differences, acknowledging shared humanity and the universal desire to be seen, heard, and valued. As we navigate a future increasingly shaped by technology, perhaps the most crucial innovation will remain the cultivation of kindness, compassion, and the unwavering commitment to bridging divides, ensuring that no one is left behind in the quiet corners of our world. How might we, individually and collectively, continue to seek out and illuminate the unseen struggles, turning moments of unexpected connection into catalysts for a more empathetic and inclusive future? Beyond the immediate rush of emotion that washed over Charlie, the arrival of the Tesla Model Y on his remote ranch initiated a far more subtle, yet profound transformation in his daily existence. The vehicle, a sleek emblem of the future, wasn't merely a practical upgrade to his aging pickup. It became a constant, tangible reminder that he was seen, that his quiet endurance held value, and that the vast, indifferent world he perceived was capable of extraordinary kindness. This profound shift began to subtly reweave the fabric of his internal narrative, moving him from a state of resigned solitude to one imbued with a renewed sense of possibility. It was as if a long-held, unspoken weight had been lifted, replaced by a quiet hum of affirmation that resonated deeper than any engine. Consider the intricate alchemy this unexpected encounter performed on Charlie's very sense of self. For decades, his identity had been forged in the crucible of ceaseless labor and isolation, perhaps leading him to view himself as an anachronism, a relic of a bygone era. Now possessing a piece of the cutting edge, a whisper of tomorrow subtly altered his perception of his own relevance within the modern world. This deep-seated validation might manifest not just in outward expressions of gratitude, but in a newfound willingness to engage with the world beyond his property lines, to explore connections he once deemed unattainable, or even to entertain aspirations that had long lain dormant beneath the dust of routine. It was less about the car's mechanics and more about its profound psychological effect, a bridge from the past he inhabited to a future he could now unexpectedly touch. Furthermore, the silent, almost ethereal presence of the Tesla gliding through the unpaved paths of his sparsely populated community initiated a unique ripple effect. The sight of such a futuristic machine in a landscape defined by tradition undoubtedly became a local legend, a captivating talking point that transcended mere curiosity. It sparked conversations among neighbors about the unexpected, about the vastness of the world beyond their fences, and perhaps about the surprising potential for positive change even in the most entrenched environments. Did it prompt a nearby rancher to ponder the feasibility of a small solar array for their own property, or inspire a younger resident to research the innovations once thought exclusive to distant metropolises? This was about a subtle, yet powerful, shift in collective mindset, a quiet expansion of horizons. Moreover, this singular act of generosity subtly challenged and redefined the very metrics of success within Charlie's world. For him, success had always been intrinsically linked to enduring hardship, to the sheer act of making it through another demanding season, of keeping the ranch operational against formidable odds. Now an act of pure, unsolicited kindness, born from genuine recognition, presented a different kind of fulfillment. It underscored that true value isn't solely quantifiable in acreage, livestock, or profit margins, but also in the unseen, unwavering contributions of a life lived with dedication, regardless of its solitary nature. This profound realization subtly pushed back against a purely capitalistic or utilitarian view of human worth, emphasizing the intrinsic dignity of all labor and lives. The relentless psychological toll of prolonged loneliness, a corrosive force capable of eroding purpose and vitality, had been a constant companion for Charlie. The Tesla, therefore, became more than just transportation. It was a potent symbol of renewed purpose, an external validation that actively combated that internal erosion. Its presence might embolden Charlie to venture further, not just physically, across the landscape, but mentally into new interests, or to rekindle old passions that had faded under the weight of isolation. This unexpected gift served as a powerful counter-narrative to the prevailing cynicism about human nature, underscoring our innate capacity for radical generosity and profound empathy, even across vast societal divides. Consider, too, how the very existence of such advanced technology on a working ranch could inadvertently foster a unique form of localized innovation. Perhaps Charlie, or those around him, might begin to conceptualize how similar technologies, adapted for the specific demands of rural life, could offer solutions to challenges unique to their way of living, from optimizing water usage with smart sensors to exploring decentralized energy solutions for remote outbuildings. It's about planting a seed of possibility, demonstrating that cutting-edge solutions aren't just for urban tech parks, but can genuinely empower traditional livelihoods. This single, unexpected gesture, therefore, has the potential to ripple outwards, inspiring not just personal transformation, but also a quiet revolution of thought and adaptation in a world often perceived as resistant to change. Reflecting on this remarkable journey through the quiet expanse where human connection often feels attenuated, a deeper tapestry begins to reveal itself, woven from threads of endurance, innovation, and profound human recognition. We have journeyed from the stark realities of a life lived in solitary rhythm to the unexpected arrival of a symbol of tomorrow's ingenuity, a confluence that challenges our very understanding of what it means to be seen and valued in the vast mosaic of modern existence. The reverberations of such an unforeseen encounter extend far beyond the immediate moment, touching upon the very essence of how we perceive the interplay between global advancement and individual experience. It's a compelling narrative that invites us to reconsider the subtle yet potent forces that shape our collective consciousness, especially concerning those lives often lived at the periphery of the prevailing narrative. As these distinct currents converge, we begin to perceive a powerful undercurrent that speaks to the shifting contours of human generosity and its capacity to transcend conventional boundaries. The narrative has illuminated how the quiet resilience nurtured in isolation can unexpectedly intersect with the apex of contemporary ambition, forging a bridge that defies geographical and socio-economic expectations. What emerges from this intricate interplay is a nuanced understanding of how acts of unexpected compassion can serve as a profound validation, not merely alleviating a material need, but rekindling a sense of belonging and purpose that had perhaps dimmed under the weight of ceaseless, unacknowledged effort. This unfolding dynamic underscores the potency of individual gestures to cut through the noise of a complex world, creating a resonance that echoes far beyond its immediate impact, inspiring introspection on the broader responsibilities that accompany significant influence. The surprising resonance of advanced solutions in environments traditionally perceived as untouched by rapid innovation offers a compelling glimpse into a future where progress is not confined to bustling urban centers. It forces us to confront prevailing assumptions about accessibility and adaptation, revealing that the inherent practicality and long-term benefits of cutting-edge technologies can hold surprising appeal and utility even in the most entrenched settings. Yet, this very integration also casts a revealing light on the systemic infrastructure gaps and the complex logistical considerations that often precede widespread adoption. It's a delicate balance between the aspirational potential of what can be and the ground-level realities that must be navigated for genuine, sustained transformation. This dialogue between possibility and practicality is crucial, reminding us that while individual acts can spark profound change, they also illuminate the deeper societal investments required to foster truly equitable advancement. Drawing these disparate threads into closer proximity, we witness a compelling redefinition of value itself. No longer solely quantifiable by traditional metrics, A new dimension of worth emerges, one rooted in recognition, empathy, and the quiet dignity of a life dedicated to enduring effort. This shift compels us to consider how our collective narrative can become more inclusive, embracing the diverse contributions of all individuals, regardless of their proximity to centers of power or their adherence to conventional paths. It's a powerful counter-narrative to the prevailing cynicism that can often overshadow human interactions, offering instead a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring capacity for genuine connection. The story, in its very essence, becomes a catalyst for reevaluating the invisible lines that separate us and the profound impact of reaching across them. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer, albeit still rich with questions. We are prompted to consider not just the grand gestures, but the underlying principles they embody: the power of seeing, the courage to connect, and the willingness to extend genuine support. This complex tapestry of human experience, interwoven with technological advancement and evolving societal norms, urges us towards a more holistic understanding of well-being, one that transcends mere material provision and delves into the deeper realms of psychological validation and communal integration. As we pivot towards the final reflection, hold in mind the quiet strength of those who persevere in solitude, and the transformative potential inherent in every act of unexpected kindness. This convergence of themes sets the stage for a contemplation that extends far beyond the specific details of a single encounter, inviting a broader meditation on the very fabric of our shared humanity. The sun-drenched plains, once a canvas for Charlie's solitary toil, now bore witness to a moment that transcended the ordinary, etching itself into the very fabric of human experience. What unfolded on that remote ranch was far more than a simple transaction. It was a profound testament to the unexpected power of recognition, a radiant beacon piercing the long shadows of isolation. The sleek, silent form of the Tesla Model Y, gliding into a world defined by rugged simplicity, became an instant potent symbol. It wasn't merely a gift of advanced engineering, but an offering of profound validation, an acknowledgement of countless hours of unseen labor, of silent struggles endured, and of a spirit that, despite its solitude, had never truly broken. For Charlie, the moment was a visceral awakening, a sudden, overwhelming realization that he was not forgotten, that his life held a significance that resonated even with those at the zenith of global influence. This unexpected gesture shattered the quiet resignation that can settle upon a life lived in remoteness, replacing it with a surge of gratitude and a rekindled sense of belonging. His tears, unbidden and heartfelt, were not simply for the generosity, but for the profound empathy that had reached across a chasm of worlds, affirming his worth in a way he could never have anticipated. This single act of kindness transformed a landscape of quiet endurance into a fertile ground for renewed hope, illustrating the transformative alchemy that occurs when profound human connection takes center stage, regardless of the disparities in